everyone. We're back after a little bit of a hiatus for another episode of the VHL Roundtable. You fellas want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, so my name's Mexican Cow. I am the GM of Yukon, and I am an updater.
And I'm Zetterberg. I'm the GM of Mississauga, and I work with VSN for graphics.
Oh, a
Oh,
new
fancy.
role for Mr. Zetterberg. Very cool. I am from the inside, also known as Scotty Cabriolet. I am the assistant general manager for the Yukon Rush of the VHLM. So we've been away for a few weeks. It's kind of been a fucked up holidays. I ended up getting COVID. So I was kind of out of action for almost a couple weeks. And then last week we kind of just couldn't get our schedules to line up. So we're finally back this week, and hopefully we'll be back on more of a semi-regular schedule. So we got a lot to get through this week. The playoffs ended, and we're officially in off-season now. So we're going to kind of start off by going over what happened in the playoffs in both leagues. Z, you want to kind of go through the finals of the VHLM?
Oh, VHLM. All right. So Mexico versus Philly. Second time in the past 3 seasons that Mexico's been in the finals.
Oh, has it been?
And it might not be exactly that, but I know they were in the finals recently.
Okay.
And both times they've lost, so I'm straight.
Oof.
Yeah.
Can't win the big one, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Philly won the series in 6 games. What happened in Game 60?
It's a heartbreaker in overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cup-winning goal, I guess, went to Tom Eagles on the power play in overtime, and Philly, I don't know, think they deserve to win the cup. They were pretty dominant from start to finish. One of 3 teams I thought that were heavy favorites to go all the way between them and Mexico and San Diego.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Addison McLaren is now taking home 2 Founders Cups going into his VHL career. It's pretty big.
Yeah, back to back. Quite the start to his career. Everyone remembers Miami, of course. And and then he got the repeat in Philadelphia, and he was pretty much he was on the top line in Philadelphia all season. They dominated, and good. So yeah, good for him, I guess. And we're going to talk more about him in a second, but we'll get to that later. Cal, how about you take us through the VHL finals?
Yeah, sure. So Malmo versus DC in the finals. Malmo won it in 6 games, and they took the series there. The final game, Malmo squeaked by with a 3-2 win, with Ray Shields getting the final goal.
The man himself.
Yeah. Him and Highlands and Frostbeard's player. Those 3 just went off together and all had a really good playoff run.
Congratulations, Izzy.
Thank you. Yeah, that victory, after that, I pretty much was decided I'm going back to Malmo this season. So.
Oh, there you have it, folks. The first big scoop of the podcast.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
It was already announced, but okay.
We're useless podcast.
Pretty much.
All right. Well, okay. So, what was the mood like in the dressing room when you guys found out that you won?
Oh, we were going off. It was extra special too because it was Orbiting Death's players last season.
That's
he
right.
hadn't got his cup yet. We thought he wasn't going to get it, and then we pulled off upset against 3 teams and managed to win it. So that was huge.
It was quite the run. You guys definitely scraped and clawed your way to get that cup.
And at the beginning of the season, I know that Malmo was really struggling at the beginning. I didn't think they were going to even make the playoffs in the
Yeah.
first 15, 20 games. Like they were not doing too great, and they managed to climb their way up and end up making the playoffs. And I guess anything can happen in the playoffs.
Yeah, if you get hot at the right time, yeah, anything can happen. I remember one of our earlier podcasts early on in the season, Z said he was pretty down on his team and wasn't too sure about Malmo's chances. So it's kind of crazy to see how things ended up.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy with it. Me and Highlands were pretty good all season. And I think especially Highlands, he helped us in the starting series against Warsaw, and just from there we gained momentum. Was able to push through everybody.
And I hate to say this, but I'm pretty sure Ray Shields led the playoff scoring race. Is that correct?
He did.
28 points in 19 games played for him.
Oof.
Yeah.
Highlands right behind him with 27 points. Either of those two could be winning the playoff MVP award this season.
Well, we're rooting for you, Highlands. Go get her, bud. So yeah, that kind of puts a bow on the 75 season. We're in off season now, finally, and there's a lot going on. There's a lot of shakeups in the different front offices. There's been a lot of trades. The World Juniors and the Victory Program are happening, so we're going to try to break down a little bit of everything and look towards the drafts that are coming up. But so we'll start with all the management changes because there's been a bunch. Z, why don't you start with yourself?
All right, yeah. So this offseason got the promotion. I'm now the GM of Mississauga, which kind of funny actually. I started my career there as a AGM and ended up getting fired. So it's funny how things have a way of turning around.
I seen that in the thread that people seem to notice that things have come full circle for you.
Yeah, yeah. It's good though, cause I did some pretty dumb stuff there when I was AGM, and that's what got me fired. So
Would you say
it'd
you've
be good
matured
to.
over time?
Yeah, I'd say so.
It's good.
I think it's spur of the moment decision at that point, and made sure I kept out of it, and eventually I got my chance. It's just funny it ends up being Mississauga.
Definitely ironic. But so you've been the GM for what, about 4 or 5 days now, almost a week.
Yeah, about that.
So
And
how's your first week been going? Is there a lot going on? It must be a pretty chaotic time to take over.
yeah, it's chaotic. First thing I did basically was I went through the players we had, and we ended up having no one actually.
To say that
But
probably didn't take too long.
Yeah.
yeah, I had to release all our waiver players, and then I went through the rest of the team, and they were all inactive. So, but I did get pretty lucky because our goalie, because the Discord started popping off after I got the promotion, and he
Right.
actually came back.
You
And
like to see that.
yeah, and now all of a sudden he's in the locker room and he's trying to earn again. So we'll
I
have
mean,
him.
that just goes to show, like, if you have good management, how much of a difference it can make. And we've been saying that in prior podcasts, but like, if you have people that like kind of help steer the ship in the right direction and are encouraging your players and like kind of there for them if they need things, like, makes a huge difference. And like you guys lost some, well, not you, but Mississauga lost some people during the midst of last season. That place was graveyard, right? Which is unfortunate, but
Yeah,
oh,
it
but
wasn't great for activity.
you're gonna get a fresh start starting in the off season now. So
Yeah, totally fresh. I get to basically build my own team. I'm not taking uh, anything from the past GM, basically, uh, which is great. I did like that he left me with 4 firsts to work with. That definitely helped.
yeah,
And
you definitely had some assets. So what's the game plan there?
so, well, I've actually traded all my firsts now because basically I'm not going to use them this season. We got 0 players going into it. There's nothing I can do, right? For
Yeah, even
4
with four
players for
firsts,
50.
Yeah, it's not enough. Yeah.
So I was basically just turning it into like seconds and thirds, and then I moved one to next season, and that's gonna be the goal is to compete in 77. This is just gonna be a year to get the guys, used to it, used to each other, and hopefully ready for next season where we can dominate.
It's kind of nice too because you can kind of give yourself a little bit of a practice run this season, and you're not going to try to compete really.
Yeah.
And you can kind of if you make some mistakes, it's not a big deal because you're really focused on 77, right?
Yeah. So if I totally screw up lines or whatever this season and it kills our team, it's not gonna matter as much as if I had the assets to go for a cup run.
Now's the time to try 5 physical.
Yeah, you can really experiment this season, and maybe you
I
can find
can,
something
yeah.
that works that people don't really try out. So it's worth doing.
Yeah. It's exciting.
So have you hired anyone in your staff yet?
Yes, I have. I think the next day actually is when I got my AGM. I went with T Cookie, who was one of my players in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
When we went for that 74 run, which is big. And, he's been active ever since.
Great
Great in
pick.
the locker room. So I already knew him, already talked to him beforehand. And yeah, basically just went through the AGMs. I just kind of wanted to get one fairly quickly because I was going to have to do a lot of trades pretty quick.
Yeah, you had a lot of business to get down
Yeah,
to, so it made sense
exactly.
to get
And
your assistant and on that.
yeah, and I already had my eye on him. So like it just made sense.
It's a
He's
great
been
pick.
great so far.
Yeah, I know he's not going to let you down. You guys are going to be
Yeah.
a good team. So,
Yeah.
Mississauga is in good hands, I would say. Besides that, Cal, you want to go over the other GM hiring in the VHLM?
We're talking about Thad, the
We're
new
talking
GM
about
of
Thad.
San Diego. Yeah. So Thad, after his amazing World Junior Championship video, they
Uh-huh.
got him the Team USA was a job. Yeah.
Yep.
He was given the chance to GM San Diego as IR after 10 amazing seasons. Stepped down from the GM role. So Thad took over.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, really good member. I think he can do some good work in San Diego. He's a really good guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So as a player in San Diego this past season, we went all in. So, and we didn't quite get to where we wanted to go, unfortunately. But now Thad's gonna have a lot of work to do because we like a lot of the assets are gone. The cupboards are pretty empty. So
Oh, yeah, especially for this draft. He made a few trades, and now the only thing he has is a 7th.
so they're ready to tank it next year. Then it looks like.
Pretty
So
much.
he's got 3 forwards, a defenseman on his team that looks like he could trade away this season and get a few more picks. But then this season he's only got 1 pick, a 7th rounder, and next season he only has a 3rd, a 5th, a 6th, and a 7th. So he's definitely low. Gonna have to probably rebuild for a season or
It's
two.
gonna be an Ottawa Lynx situation next season. That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
But
when I got my role as a GM in Yukon, I kind of had to start the same way. I didn't really have anything, so it was
yeah, I mean
kind
it
of
happens, right?
it was tough to have to go through 2 like seasons of rebuild, like tough mentally on you and the team of just losing for 2 straight seasons. But I think it was well worth it because the season after we had a really really good season, and I
It
really enjoyed that.
it is hard to keep people engaged when you're not winning because then people lose interest and the vibe's not good in the locker room. So it's gonna be a tough challenge for Thad, but I think he'll be all right. And he hired Prout, Cowboy Prout, as his assistant GM. I think it's an interesting choice, and I think that Prout's been with San Diego his whole career so far. So I think he's pretty familiar with the organization. So that's like a plus. And he is pretty good in the locker room for getting people riled up and staying engaged. So hopefully he can, between the two of them, they can kind of keep everyone interested and keep them updating and active. So
He's definitely an active member within this league.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, he's definitely going to help San Diego out, I think.
So, let's see. So Z left the Miami AGM job, and that opened the door for Reiser's brother, which is Tina from Bob's Burgers, which is a great username. I think that's a pretty good choice. I didn't even think of that until I saw it. I'm like, oh yeah, it's slam dunk. Like having brothers as GMs together, that's gonna work out well.
It can either work out terribly or work out really well.
Depends.
But
You think it could be bad?
Well, no, I just mean like the brother to brother relationship.
Oh well, they can be honest with each other, right?
Yeah.
No one's gonna be pulling back any punches there, so. I think it's a great chance for his brother to kind of get his feet wet in management too. So that was a good hiring. And then so there's two more. Dom, his players, Dominic Gobale, from the same class as me, season 75. He got hired on to be the assistant GM in Prague with DA, and that's that's his first job. So that's like a pretty crazy spot to be put in. DA is VHL M commish, and Dooms is there in Prague too, who drafted Dom in the first place, or sorry, picked him up off waivers. So like he's got some pretty esteemed company there in Prague to work with. Like there's a lot of smart people there.
Yeah,
Good
I think. What's that?
I said it's good connections.
Oh, for sure. And I know I've talked to DA privately a little bit, and I know he's super high on Dom. Thinks he's like a really good guy. So he must be doing some good things over there if they trust him so much already.
And he's getting the experience with the Pro-Am, as I hired him as a GM of one of the teams for the Victory Pro-Am. So
the Bucks.
He's got a position there, and he's got a position on Prague. So I think he's getting some good experience already, and I think in no time he'll have a nice, good resume.
For sure, he's a really good guy too. I can vouch for him. We were teammates together in Saskatoon as rookies, and he went like later in the VHL draft, and I think like that kind of lit a fire under him. Like he was a little bit disappointed. He thought he'd go higher. And ever since then, he has been fucking crushing it. And he's really, really turned it on like over the past season. So he'll be a guy worth watching in the VHL next season too, in his rookie season. Yeah. And then just today, Matty Ice stepped down from the Houston AGM job to take a job in London as the AGM there to serve under McWolf. So I didn't see that one coming. So now there's still an opening in Houston for AGM.
There's quite a few good candidates, I think, that are ready to take on that position. So I think Houston will have a good tandem in there with RG and whoever he hires. I think they could do some good work next season.
RJ definitely knows what he's doing over there, and but that person's in big shoes to fill because Matty Ice is like a VSN scout, right? So like that's like the kind of guy you want to have as your AGM for sure.
Yeah.
Right, and so I'm sure RJ will take his time and teach his new hire, and it'll work out good. But I know there's a couple of hungry guys that want to get their chance. Like I know Hex Rose and Legendary both both are vying for that job. So either one would be a great choice, to be honest. So that'll be something to keep an eye on over the next couple of days before the draft. Okay, so now we're going to start getting into the draft stuff. We'll start in the minor leagues. Z, so you're like we've just discussed, you're just taking over Mississauga. You take a look at this draft class. It's definitely not the same as last year's draft class.
Yeah.
But what's the game plan going into your draft?
Well, based on the scouting we've done so far, it's kind of an average draft. It's nothing crazy like the S75.
Right.
It's not terrible either.
There are players to be had.
Yeah, there definitely are. I got a few picks going into it, and I'm gonna try and draft like some guys who will stay for 77, and then maybe get a guy who stays till 78, but
Right.
and like one of the later picks. But those ones are risky. I'm pretty happy with my spots right now. I got a 15th and 17th are my two highest, so I'll be able to have my choice of quite a few guys, which I'm pretty happy about. And then I got a few in the later rounds. Unfortunately, my 27th overall pick, which would have been really nice to have, is due to Mississauga using an actives last season. I can't use it. That's basically void now. But I do have a spot in 28, which is basically 27, so that kind of makes up for it. But
it does still sting a bit. I feel you.
It stings, yeah. I'll probably find a way to get another third. Because I only got one in the fourth, and I got 3 in the fifth, and then after that it gets pretty bare bones. Even the fifth is kind of rough.
Shit, dude, you have more draft picks than we do. Speaking of which, Cal, you want to kind of break down where we're coming from in UConn?
Yeah, so this draft we've got 2 firsts, a 5th, 2 6th, and a 7th. And so we're gonna try to draft, we're gonna use all those picks and we're gonna hopefully be competitive this season. Because currently we have 5 forwards, 2 defensemen, and a goalie that we traded for.
Mm-hmm.
So with those 2 firsts, get another defenseman, maybe another forward, and hopefully we can go on a run this season. And then season 77 will be an off year where we just try to gain more picks, and we're gonna go hard again in 78. So that's kind of UConn's plan for the next 3 seasons.
I think that's a great plan. All things considered.
You're the one who created it, so.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. Man, I'm smart. So looking at the first round, it says we have pick number 6 and 9, and I don't know if everyone knows this, but if you look at the draft board, Ottawa has the 2 pick, but that pick is essentially it doesn't exist because they lose that pick from same kind of thing that Mississauga has to deal with.
Yeah.
So basically, that pick just gets voided and skipped. So essentially, everyone after that is moving up a spot.
Yeah.
So really, we have the 5th pick and the 8th pick. So kind of having a pick in the top 5 is pretty good. We're basically guaranteed, a big hitter. So I'm pretty excited about that. But yeah, we like I said, we have I think about eight guys coming back, and they're all pretty high up there in TPE. Yeah, we're hopefully gonna be in good shape to compete this upcoming season. So now let's shift focus into the VHL draft. There's been a lot of trade movement ahead of this draft. Lots of teams are flip-flopping picks. It's very interesting. I guess before we get into the draft side of things, Cal, you want to talk about the trades that you were involved in and your teammates?
Yeah, so Seattle traded away Chris Rice to Moscow, and I don't have the trade open, so I don't know for what.
Perfect. Thank you. Thanks.
But Chris Rice went to Moscow, and Jacob Ton did as well. My player went to Moscow, so Moscow is looking quite good.
They're loading up for
They
76.
They're quite loaded for the next few seasons. I think they're gonna be a very, very good team, and I'm super excited to play with Moscow.
You sad about leaving Seattle?
I did really enjoy Seattle. I love Banner. He's an amazing GM. So yeah, I am really sad to leave Seattle, but
Ferk's in his prime, and you're just leaving him high and dry.
New chapter in my life. I'm excited to join Moscow. I think they're gonna be a really good team. Like, I mean, we're gonna beat up Seattle. So
You gonna brush up on your Russian?
No.
Okay. I would expect nothing less. How about you, Z? Has Malmo made any trades to change the roster up in the last few days?
Yeah, there's been a couple of new acquisitions. We got Oscar Legason, 541 TPE, kind of end of his career guy.
Okay.
So decent pickup. He's going to be good, like help with our defense, because after we lost Condor, it kind of dropped a bit. But
for sure.
we
That's a
made
tough
that
one to
up.
fill.
And making it up even better is Frostbeard actually changed his player to defenseman.
Oh,
So
really?
now,
I didn't know that.
So he's going to be on the top line for defense with Guy Saskamoose. So now our defense is looking pretty good all of a sudden.
Maybe just looking to pick up another forward now?
I mean, our forward's pretty good, honestly. Like top line, me, Highlands, and Youngcock.
Yep.
And then down in the second line, it kind of drops a bit because we have two guys coming up from the M. So and they're close to 300. We got Carson Walkers and Kevin Sturck, and they're both like just about to hit 300. And then at center we have Arthur Dwayne, who's also like he's 548 right now, so he's gonna be good for a while.
Right on.
And then in net we got Griff Khan, who's he's been amazing, especially in playoffs.
Oh yeah, he was red hot in the playoffs. That was quite the run he had.
Yeah, I love the look of our team right now. I think if Sturck and Walkers can earn more TPE, we're definitely going to be in contention and give Moscow a run for their money.
You think there's a chance for a back-to-back?
That's why I signed there. Got to defend it. 100% we're getting it.
A confident man that Z is. So okay, now we'll get into the draft. It's a pretty hefty draft. Like, maybe not so deep, but the first round is really full of talent. You have some big recreates coming up into this draft. Red Light is like slam dunk #1 pick. Like the first few picks are actually like pretty much set in stone. I'd say. I would say Acid's going to 2 because Prague, DA runs Prague, and DA and Acid are buddies, so I don't see them passing on Acid. And then Beavis will probably go 3. And then I don't know. Then it gets kind of dicey. There might be some variation, but you have other recreates like Phil and Boom and Rays and Eagles. All those guys are really well-established dudes that are recreating, so pretty safe picks. You know you're going to get a good one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm definitely expecting the recreates to go first because everyone's so tight in TPE. There's a lot of first gens who are close as well, which don't think I've seen as much before. But
Yeah,
recreates, they're less risky because they've
right.
been through a season already, and you can kind of put more trust in them than you can first gen.
And these are good recreates. Like we're talking about like Hall of Famers, right? So you know you're gonna get something good. And then like you said, there's a couple first gens in the mix too. Like you got your Hex Roses and your Christoph Welches, and like those guys are no joke either. Like both those guys could hit 300 by the time the season starts, and that's pretty crazy considering they're just coming out of the rookie seasons. So there's a lot of talent to be had on the board for sure. My team, Toronto's got the 5 and the 6 picks, so you know we're gonna get probably 2 slam dunk players out of that. And we already got some great pieces in Toronto, and me and Jolly Green Giant and Callahan are coming up next season, so I'm hoping Toronto will be in the mix too. We'll see. I think 76 is going to be a really spicy season because all the that huge draft class from 75 they're all coming up next season, and it's going to be interesting to see how everyone has an impact.
Yeah, that top rookie could go anywhere at this point.
Who knows, man? It's going to be crazy.
That's going to be a battle.
We'll see if McLaren can add some more accolades to his trophy case. But and then like McJake kind of had a little bit of a quiet season this year, but I wouldn't forget about him.
Oh, he's going to be playing on a line with McLaren.
I know.
That's definitely something to watch for.
Yeah, those guys are going to tear shit up for sure. Yeah, so that's kind of the outlook on VHL for right now. We got a couple major tournaments going on right now.
Yeah, equal size.
Equal size, yeah. Equal importance, of course.
Getting there. At one point, it'll be that way.
So the World Juniors, for those of you who didn't know, got moved from the middle of like the season to an off-season activity this year. So that kicked off around Boxing Day. They started announcing things. The first couple rounds of Sims have happened. You guys want to break down how that's going so far?
Yeah. So right now the standings are in first place, Team World, 5-0, 15 points.
Wow.
So they're absolutely killing it. Just destroying everybody in their path. Like,
do you get gold medal for the round robin? They're giving out the medals for the round robin now?
It's definitely promising for playoffs when that comes. In second, we got USA, who's 3-3, 8 points. And then trailing right behind them is Europe, who actually has one less game played than they do. So they have a chance at jumping ahead. They're 2-2, 2-2-1 for 7 points. And it looks like the point system is a bit different. It's going to be
is it 3
wins
for a win?
Yeah, wins are worth 3. It looks like, and then overtime losses. It looks like they're just worth 1.
Yeah.
And there's this huge gap in between Team World and Team USA. I've noticed it goes from 8 points to 15 points with the new system of wins you get points for. So there's become this massive gap in between them.
I mean, none of it really even like it's just seeding, right? So they can have all the points they want.
End up in 4th or 5th because that means you have to win more games to get the gold.
You got to win one more game.
Yeah, that's.
And if you want to win the whole tournament, you better be able to beat the 4 seed.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that shouldn't even matter really, or the 5 seed, I guess.
Yeah, but Team World's shocking everybody. Like everyone was kind of saying that they had a weaker team. If you look at the TPE average, they were last, and I don't know. I guess Jiggly's doing something with the lines that's clicking. The chemistry's there. The builds are looking pretty good, and I guess that's why they're able to come out on top this early.
Yeah, and I've kind of noticed that over the years, I've noticed that players are starting to create their players to go to Team World. So
Mhm.
Team World is becoming like the stack
Yeah.
team that everyone knows.
I want to
is gonna
speak
do
to that.
well.
I am
Go ahead.
glad it's happening. It is a
No.
good thing, and everyone else should do it.
Listen, this is a public service announcement for all you fucking Canadian-born people out there. You're all a bunch of traitors, and you should be ashamed of yourselves. Hockey was born in Canada. If you're Canadian and you're signing up to fucking play in fucking Mozambique or wherever the fuck you're signing up for, you should be ashamed of yourself, and I'm disappointed.
Because Team Canada is struggling now in Team USA because no one's creating in those countries anymore. It's starting to
Well,
get
to
sad.
speak to that, it's a sim league. Who cares? Have fun with it. You can play wherever you want. You can. That's the whole point. Like, are you saying a
You're
guy
a
from
loser.
Canada is not allowed to make a guy from Sweden? Like,
That's
it
right.
has to be
That's
Canadian.
exactly what I'm saying. We have enough international representation.
We do not have enough international representation to field all of those teams. You think there's enough people
Sorry,
from
Sweden.
Asia?
Sorry, Malaysia. Not my problem. All I'm saying is, and you people know who you are. You make me sick.
And I'm saying have fun with it.
I'm not here to fucking have fun.
I'm saying you two are children.
Okay. Cow's gonna be the parental figure in this situation.
Guess so.
We're all fucking doomed. All right. So yeah, you gonna finish the standings?
Yep. So moving on in the standings, we have Team Europe in third, which I think I covered,
You did.
and Team Canada in fourth. Has not a good look, especially based on how many players they have creating from Canada. It's one of the more popular places to create from, and honestly, their
Not
TP
anymore. It's
is
not.
Not really.
There's still quite a few people from Canada.
Yeah,
definitely
clickers
fit.
and deadbeat losers that don't earn their TPE. Step it up, Canada.
And then in fifth, we have Team Asia with 4 points. It's not even really worth talking about. They suck.
Hey, that's disrespectful. First off,
Don't disrespect Blaz.
yeah, have some. You put some respect on her name.
Well,
Asia beat Canada today, but Canada beat Europe. So you want to talk shit? No.
Yeah, how many of them would
I'm
be
looking
Team
at you, Ledge. Defending champions. We knocked them off. All right. I'm done talking about World Juniors. Let's keep it moving.
All right, let's move on to the next major tournament happening this off season. We got the Victory Pro-Am.
The tournament everyone's talking about. The hottest event of the winter.
We expanded this season to include 5 teams.
Yes.
Which is very exciting. Yeah.
Who did you pick as GMs this time around?
This time around, we went with Dom G. We'll start with that, who just really active, is kind of an obvious choice when they showed interest, and that's like what it's about. We're trying to get new players to have a chance at management, basically like World Juniors, but this allows more people to be a part of it as well. It's goes from 5 to 10 GMs basically.
Yeah,
Uh,
Dom's a great choice. Love it.
Yeah, definitely got on everyone's radar when we started this. At least mine. Hadn't really heard much of him before. And then next we got Jacob Sosa or Jakey, who
Jakey.
same thing as Dom basically. He's been really active. Kind of
Salad,
saw him play earlier.
the guy from Mexico, right?
Yep. Yeah. I was in the locker room when he joined and he was pretty active. So he seemed like a good choice and he's been doing pretty good so far. He's getting the team involved and everything you really want out of a
Yeah.
GM.
You'd love to see it.
Yeah. Next up, we got Caboose, who we've kind of known about for a while because he was in the Pro-Am last season as well. and he's in the voice chat, so we got to talk to him and get to know him a bit better. So thought
Great
we'd give
guy.
him a chance.
He's a good guy.
He's been absolutely blowing it with his team. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, the Boars are a sight for sore eyes, but they did beat
Yeah.
my team today. So, but they're not good.
No, they suck.
Caboose, be better.
Yeah, and then next up, we got the Calgary Inferno GM,
Oh boy.
which has kind of been all over the place. We started with one guy who wasn't really taking the job that seriously. He's holding up the lineup when we were doing the draft, making it take too long. So
You don't like that.
eventually, Doomsday and DA decide to step in and start drafting for their team. So it's kind of cool to see it actually. The team that was basically build themselves, and they've been killing it too. So seems to be
Yeah.
working. And then after that, kind of when the team was drafted and all that, we decided we need a GM. So we gave Weeks a chance, and he's been doing pretty good so far as well. I guess more on to like how he's been doing sim wise. I guess that would be Cow since he's getting the lines coming in. So what do you think about him?
Yeah, he's been DMing me a little bit back and forth as well, trying to just like kind of learn how STHS works and stuff. So he's definitely interested in management, I think, and I think he's so
He is.
far done, a good job, I think.
Mhm.
The only thing I would recommend is him just trying to stay more active in the locker room and try to talk to the team more. But other than that, he's done really well, I think.
Yep.
He's a good guy. I've talked to him in DMs before, and he really wants to keep growing and keep developing, and he's doing a lot of good stuff. So, yeah, great choice.
And then our final GM is JBZ, who has been a member for quite a while. I've known him for quite a while as well. And basically, we thought we'd give him a chance to go for it. He's been doing pretty good. Storm seemed to be pretty active, which is his team.
So it's good.
Meshing pretty well. And they've been performing pretty well in the Sims as well. So clearly what he did is working.
Yeah, JBZ was on my team last season, the Monarchs, and it was great having him in the locker room. So it's kind of cool to see him be a GM this season and have his own good locker room. So it's good for him.
Yeah.
So how far are we into Sim so far?
We'll let Cow talk about this since he's
The
a
Sim
mastermind.
Master.
So we are 6 games in, I think, right? Yeah.
About 700 more to go.
Well, let's see.
Give her-
We've done two sims, and I think we're gonna do 7 days. So we're a third of the way there almost. No.
Okay.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's a third. Yeah, I can do math.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think the tournament's going well so far. We're getting some really good activity out of everyone. I think we've had about 15 people in both of our sims because I always do the sims live with everyone on Discord. So it's a lot of fun.
It's so fun, and they've been popping off the first 2 days. Like I've been really enjoying myself.
Fun place to be right now. We've had 2 good turnouts for the Sims because Cow does it live and make sure it's not rigged, basically.
Are we sure though? Some
Yeah,
little
I'm sure there's
suspect
some.
results tonight.
Yeah, I was a little suspect of the finals results last season. I don't hear you complaining about it.
I mean, the difference was there wasn't error messages popping up after your Sims every game.
I don't understand SCHS, okay? It
There's
just
a lot of
randomly
things you
gave
don't
me
understand.
an error message today in the sim, and I did not understand. I just kept pressing OK, and it went away eventually, so we're good.
Perfect.
Still got the stats out. It's all good.
So anything else you guys want to say about the program? Okay, cool. Very good.
Guess not.
Okay, so that pretty much wraps up everything on the Pro-Am. It's been a blast so far. And I think that's pretty much a nice little recap of what everyone's missed over the last few weeks. There's a lot going on. I think everyone's pretty much raring to go get season 76 started. I would suggest to all the rookies to tune into the draft this Friday. They're doing the VHL entry draft first this season, which I think is pretty interesting. And then the M draft is still TBD, so we'll see.
Yeah, we basically have a date for it. It's
nothing's confirmed yet.
Nothing's confirmed, but
it should be shortly after.
We basically know when it is.
Yeah. So it's not going to be too far off of the VHL draft. Let's just say that much.
Yep.
So that pretty much wraps up this week's episode of the Roundtable. If you made it to the end, thank you for listening. Appreciate it. Like I said at the start of the episode, we'll try to get on a more regular schedule again. Kind of went to shit there for a few weeks over Christmas, but busy time of year, and I had a lot of shit going on, and there's just a lot happening. So
yeah, glad we're back though. This was fun.
It does feel good to get back in the saddle. So
we'll try and have more special guests in future ones.
Yeah, we really like bringing on guests. Plans kind of fell through on our guests this week, but next week when we do the next podcast, I mean, there should be lots to talk about again with the results of the draft. So maybe we'll get on someone who got drafted, perhaps. I'm not really sure yet, but we'll see. Anyways, until next time, thanks for listening, and stay safe.